Rumble's green machine is off to a fast start, speeding to a 2-0 record showing incredible early season sync. Whitney Take-Flight White soars over defenders, quickly establishing air supremacy. For the 2-0 mob, it's their hardcore football mentality that stuns opponents into submission, punctuated with very aggressive scoring. It's Rumble versus the mob. Hi everyone, I'm Leila Feinstein here with Pat Croce and Reggie Theus. Coming up in tonight's feature game, we've got one of the fiercest rivalries in all of SlamBall, the Mob and the Rumble, two teams with a bit of history. Pat, tell us about the Mob.
Well, the Mob are stacked with their big three offensive powerhouses: LaMonica, La Machine Garrett, Chris Robbins, and Sean Inches Jackson.
The Rumble's front line is equally as dominant. Last year's MVP, Dion Mays, alongside Whitney White and Jelani Janice.
With these guys in the mix, expect plenty of high-impact, full-speed collisions tonight. But before we get to the action, let's go courtside to Jill Arrington.
I'm here with the Rumble head coach, Ken Carter. Now, this is the oldest rivalry in SlamBall with two original teams, so what can we expect on the court today?
It's going to be a good game. As I say every time you interview me, everybody have to make the adjustment to us. We do what we do, and we do it extremely well. So we're going to go out and play our game, and it's going to be physical tonight.
Is that the key to the Rumble ball?
Not at all. We have a lot of skilled players. But when it's time to bring the lumber, we bring the lumber.
All right, we'll see the lumber on the court today, guys. Back to you.
Thank you, Jill. Coach Carter has another strong Rumble team this year, but I gotta tell you, the Mob are looking good, Pat.
They're looking real good, Leila. And this year they've got something to prove. They hate the fact the Rumble won the championship last year.
But it's nothing like a big fight, you know.
A good grudge match. You love it. You gotta love it. And that's what we got here tonight. We're about ready for the bounce off. Now over to Bob Papa to get things started.
Thank you very much. Along with my partner, Pat Purnell, we're joined by San Diego Chargers defensive lineman Marcellus Wiley. And, well, the Rumble and the Mob, these two teams dislike each other. It's the oldest rivalry in SlamBall. And let's start with the Rumble and what they have to offer.
Well, a lot. They have so many good players, but most notable league MVP, last year's league MVP player, Dion Mays, and the rivalry between him and LaMonica Garrett on the Mob side, it is something that you need to see every time these two teams match up. It's a good show, to say the least.
And on top of that, the Rumble are the defending SlamBall champions. Everybody's trying to knock them off. Marcellus, you play in the AFC West. There's the Oakland Raiders. There's a rivalry. But how do you keep your composure?
Well, it's tough, you know, during the rivalry week. You know it's an intense game. You know it's a little more important than a normal game. But you got to keep yourself calm. You don't want to get the other team any advantages mentally, anything on the poster board to get them fired up. So you try to keep your composure and go out there and play real intense during the game.
All right, thanks, Marcellus. The Rumble, the defending league champs, take on the Mob. Here's the enacted starting lineup. And we'll start with the Rumble. Jelani Janice, 6'3", 220 pounds, is the handler. Then you have David Redmond, one of the stoppers, known as Lockjaw. The other gunner, Whitney White, Take-Flight White. And the league MVP from last year, Dion Mays, known as the landlord. Nobody gets in his territory. Ken Carter, the coach. Reigning over the defending league champion, Rumble. The Mob, and their starting four. Well, they have Noah Ballou, 6'2", 185 pounds, known as Maverick. Chris Robbins, C-Rob from South Boston, Virginia, played football at Clemson. Sean Jackson, Inches, outstanding player at 5'11", and Kevin Cassidy, the other starter, known as the Swede from New York City. Their head coach, Brendan Kirsch, 24 years of age. He's a native of Indianapolis. So the Mob and the Rumble getting ready to square off. The Rumble in the green, the Mob in the black and red. There's the opening bounce off, batted around, and the Mob have it. Jackson.
And Jackson, definitely one to watch when you talk about flair and slam ball. Amazing slams come out of Sean Inches Jackson.
Here's Dion Mays, gets it off for White. White, oh, with a little bank shot for 2 points. Whitney White gives the Rumble the lead.
Well, White, tactical trajectory, billiard-style bank off the glass, flawless.
So the Mob with possession. Inches Jackson. For Robbins. Trying to connect with Cassidy, cannot. Dion Mays. Mays trying to reverse dunk. Couldn't get it to fall.
Could not reach around the cornice.
He was pointing in the move.
Jackson skied high, nobody to pass to. And he's tied up, so the defense takes over as Whitney White went down and tied up Jackson. So the Rumble with a 2-zip lead. Early goings. White. For Mays, hit Jackson in the back of the head. Oh, wow. How about Cassidy selling out?
Springing out of the tramp and almost scorpion into the plexiglass.
Robbins, slam. Chris Robbins, the 29-year-old, emphatic.
Well, Robbins goes up, shakes, bakes, and fakes, and then delivers the 3.
Now here's the Mob in transition. Baloo behind the back for Jackson. And then picked off by Janice. White. Oh, left-handed facial.
And White just gets up off to the side, redirects.
And we direct to a commercial break. You're watching SlamBall. Welcome back to SlamBall. The Rumble have an 8-3 lead over the Mob down to Jill Arrington.
Well, I found a guy who knows a thing or two about action in your face, physical play, and that is Sugar Ray Leonard. What do you think of the SlamBall?
They play with conviction. I love it. It's like boxing.
It is like boxing. You can't keep track, though. Who are you out here to see?
My guy, Ivan Lattimore. He's my trainer from the Rumble. We'll see.
All right, thanks, Jill. Well, Lattimore wears number 33 in green. Right now, the Mob with the ball. Denied. Lattimore clears the rebound. Here come the Rumble. Mays. Whips it out for Tommy Davis. Davis from Mays. He's got an open look. Missed the layup. Oh, missed it again. Lattimore kicks it out for Mays. And
there
Mays
we go.
Slams it this time.
It's good to see Davis in a combination with the team that he's getting along with. Last year, had some problems, but Davis, very skilled blacktop player, legendary in the LA area.
Tommy Davis wears number 55 for the Rumble. Garrett misses the jam. Lattimore with it for the Rumble. Mays. Davis. Lefty flip. Cleared by the Mob. Jackson. Twisting.
Great D, but ups the offense. Look at the reach and the extension from Jackson off to the left hand. Times it out, pumps it, and gets it in.
Mays takes a shot. Is for Lattimore. Davis will shoot the jumper. Anderson the rebound for the Mob.
A little change-up shot there for Davis, trying to get 3 points.
Monica Garrett.
The rebound bounce on that from Garrett was almost as high as the jump itself. Looking on this angle, you can see on the rebound after he gets denied the hoop, goes down, gets clotheslined by the hoop, and then bounces up a good 3 feet.
You can see on that bounce, on the secondary bounce, gets completely bile, horizontal with the ground. Great air awareness.
Have patience when we get the ball in the middle of the floor after a make. Lots of time. Shot clock's not started. We could run it down if you
Well, Brendan Kirsch's team brings a unique style to the court every time out. LaMonica Garrett sums up the Mob style.
We're all on the same team. Football kind of mentality. Hard hat, lunch pail, go to work. Construction type. No prettiness, no nothing. Just mean. Hit you in the mouth and go home. We win. If we don't, we don't. But you're gonna feel it.
Now the Mob, with great defense, have had a winning style. Here's Davis the other way. White, easy three.
That's just beautiful. See Davis like that. Great timing with White.
Now White comes back and gets the pick.
Great hustle so far from the Rumble.
Here's White again.
Trying to get that high bank, but just too much board on it.
Janice for White. Fakes, lays it up and in. That's 2 points.
Very active around the ball, White is. Had a good breakfast this morning.
Yeah, he's up court, he's back court, he's side court.
Jackson gives it for Trevor Anderson.
And just take note of the D from the Rumble right now. Constant pressure.
Anderson for Jackson. Closing seconds of the first. Will they get the shot off? It's a 2 and it's no good. So the Rumble using Whitney White, the gunner out of Chicago, played his college hoops at Cal State Northridge. 13 points, 3 slams, and 3 hits.
Well, Whitney White finding his synergy with the slam factor. Back-to-back slams. Put the Rumble where they need to be.
1 quarter complete. You're watching Slam Ball. The Rumble with a 16-5 lead over the Mob after 1. Take a look at the stats in the first quarter, and you see the Mob just 2 of 10 from the floor. Whitney White outstanding for the Rumble. Is the stopper for the Rumble, known as Lockjaw, and he's batted away a couple shots. Opening bounce off control by the Rumble in the green. Janice. Mays. Dion Mays.
Oh, Mays!
Cassidy met him at the top, but White there, and he just lays it up and in.
Right at the shot clock expired.
Good follow by White on that, but Mays came in at a forearm into the lower gut of Cassidy.
Ballou dumps it down low, and Paul can't finish it. Janice on Cassidy. Cassidy hits it to the top and it goes in. It's only a 2 because it wasn't a slam.
Still on my top 10 at 10. Way to stay with it.
And if it wasn't for Cassidy at this point, I'd say the Rumble would be up even more.
Well, they have a 15-point lead. Anderson over Redmond.
Hit the pause button in the air.
This thing was cocked and loaded. Surface to air missile driving down the hoop.
White chases it down. Oh, takes a hip check from Ballou.
A little high-low bridge.
Yeah.
Haven't seen that since Pop Warner.
Robbins picked it up. Ballou. Oh! Right over Redmond.
Good finesse and focus on Ballou right over Redmond. Redmond goes vertical, but he's able to come off to the left side.
And Anderson sends Janice right into the bench.
Yeah, but watch Brendan Kirsch. Timing of a Matador, gets out of the way. Ole.
So it's Janice, 6'3", 220 pounds, known as the Sheriff for the Rumble, going against Trevor Anderson, the gunner from Florida. Janice slip. Anderson can't get there.
Gave him a ticket.
When you notice that, Anderson, once you commit, you have to stay in the tramp, and he had to commit and go to the next tramp.
It's almost as if Janice slipping at the start threw off Anderson's timing.
That's exactly what happened. Kind of stepped off the tempo right there, and then Anderson just forced him to be late on that second tramp.
Janice played his college ball. He was a point guard at Kansas. And he's running the show right now for the Rumble. Whitney White, shot clock at 4. Knocked away. Ballou's got it the other way for the Mob. Lobs it over the head of Robbins. Lattimore. Janice. Lattimore. Threw it behind White. Shot clock down to 6. White to the tramp, banks it up, and the 2-pointer.
That's just a nice touch. He did that just so gently, off high off the glass.
Whitney White with the feathery touch. Now the outlet tipped away and controlled by the Rumble, who lead it by 14. Janice, little lob for White, tipped it up, couldn't get it to fall.
And Garrett.
A little boogaloo shrimp egg roll there.
Electric boogaloo. It's trying to go for the windmill.
All right, here's Ballou the other way. Oh, and he slips. Takes a big hit.
Huge.
Is it football season already?
Absolutely. I mean, the little condensation building up on the court. Watch Ballou gets the slip and then insult to injury gets checked on the top side.
Lattimore.
Woo.
Got him right in the head. Now the action is smoking. We'll towel some things off. You're watching SlamBall on America's Network for Men. Welcome back to SlamBall. Pat, let's take a look at the method to the Mob's madness.
To the far right of the court, Robbins with the ball. Now watch Ballou saying, let's get physical right here. And this does a couple of things. It allows him to open up, go into the tramp, and then receive the ball by Robbins. Smart move by Ballou. Gets it in the tramp and count the Rumble players. One here, and one here. But there's one place there isn't a Rumble player, and that's up here with the connection with Garrett. And that is beautiful slam ball.
Well, the Rumble with the lead of the ball. Janice has it. Davis for Lattimore. Fields it off the glass. Bumps with Jackson. For Davis, who has to get it up with a shot clock expiring. Now Davis gets it back. Shot clock will reset.
Did he say excuse me? Wow.
Nifty move that time down low by
And that is, what a smart pass back out.
Lattimore. Davis wide open, and he missed the layup. 3-on-1 come the Mob.
Here comes football.
Jackson passes it off the plexiglass to reset. Ballou batted down by Lockjaw David Redmond.
And Ballou going over the back of 33.
Maybe a little payback. Ballou on Lattimore.
Well, Ballou treating Lattimore like stuffing for a burrito. Watch how he comes down on the top and the back of him. Ballou the tortilla and then just coming down.
That sets up the face-off. Von Lattimore, known as Ice, from Hollis, Queens in New York, played a little football and hoops at the University of Miami. He'll be going against Noah Ballou.
And Ballou, great tramp skills for a first-season player. Definitely has the timing worked out.
Here comes Lattimore. Ballou knocked him away. Lattimore did not get a lot of lift there either.
Yeah, it was interesting. Ballou started to come out, actually got lifted up with Lattimore. Kind of took him up on the trajectory with him. You can see this. Ballou get the bounce and then boom, arced him back.
Ooh,
and like a nasty landing by Ballou. Leg getting folded back.
And Lattimore being attended to by the trainer on the Rumble bench. Janice with it for the Rumble. Flips it up. White's got it. For Mays. Here comes Anderson for the Mob. Anderson right to Redmond. Up court and White. White's got Mays, who didn't fill the lane, and Garrett knocked it away. Shot clock at 7. Mays outworking Garrett.
Yeah, it's a surprise.
Mays still sticking with it. Cassidy diving for it. Anderson's got it with 12 seconds. LaMonica Garrett.
Talk about some Mob hustle. And Mays getting no love from the Mob.
Janice lets it rip. Whitney over the shoulder. It's a slam and it counts.
Please.
And Whitney White in the first half outscoring the Mob 23-17. Whitney White flying high.
This is what you want to see when you watch slam ball. Just powerful slams, connections. The Mob unable to stop White at this point. He's connecting across the board.
They don't call him Take Flight White for nothing. Whitney White, spectacular first half, and at the half, the defending league champion Rumble in front. Now let's send it back to our SlamBall studio.
The SlamBall Halftime Report is brought to you by Old Spice. Spice things up. Welcome back to the SlamBall Halftime Report. I'm Leila Feinstein alongside Pat Croce and Reggie Theus. And guys, tonight's game is what SlamBall is all about. I mean, Whitney White, he's on fire for the Rumble and for the Mob. Garrett and Robbins are just an awesome tag team.
Leila, these guys are your prototypical gunners. That means they're scoring machines.
Pat, I know a little bit about scoring, but for those of you who don't know the importance of this position, gunners are the first option. Take, for example, 6'5" Whitney White. He explodes and accelerates over and around defenses. His nickname, Take Flight White, is perfect.
Take this. I want to talk about the Mob's gunners, Garrett and Robbins. These two guys take a slightly different approach to the position than White. Both are ex-college football players who will knock your block off and then blast right through you.
All right, well, Garrett certainly is one of the most intimidating gunners out there, and tonight we'll take a closer look at the man they call the Machine.
Right now, modeling, acting pays the bills. I've done feature movies, I've done print jobs, magazines, just trying to stay busy, trying to stay working. I just recently got done with the movie The Blues. I find my wife sleeping around with this guy that's like neighborhood punk.
You got something to do with it. I say you don't got nothing to do with it.
It's real funny. This is my girlfriend, Claudia Jordan. She's on The Price is Right, one of the Barker Beauty girls. Sean?
The fellas at SlamBall might like to know that every night he does a Noxzema mask, keep his skin looking pretty.
This pays the bills and I gotta keep myself up. This is my girl right here. This is my Harley, the HD. It's got a lot of street credibility. This is my baby. I take care of her. I'm a routine kind of guy. You know, I get up every morning around the same time, eat the same breakfast. I work out like 5, sometimes 6 days a week. It's not a vanity thing. It's, you know, it's work. And if I have to take care of myself, my image, and keep myself in shape to put food on the table, and that's what I got to do.
Very, very nice. In fact, wait, I got to take a look at this myself. Very, very nice. But you know,
You're a little hot now.
You got to see though what my two co-hosts are hiding underneath their shirts.
I keep a washboard in the back just for moments like this.
Reggie, I've been asking for a pack of those from Christmas since I was a little kid. There's no way. But you know, when you talk about LaMonica, never mistake niceness for weakness. This guy is tough as nails, and he trains as hard as any professional athlete that I know of.
Well, you know, when he puts that kind of effort into his sport, that's the same effort that he'll take outside the sports. It's life skills, not just about sports.
All right, well, let's take a look now at what happened in other action from earlier this week. Mob and Bouncer squaring off, and Ghetto Bird wastes no time at all. Chris Young quick to the rack for the early score. But the Mob have their own high flyer. Sean Inches Jackson, he goes in quick, and look at the stop was in the mid-air collision. That is 500 pounds of beef. Very physical game. Look at that check on Inches against the glass. Oh man, that's gotta hurt. The physicality continues with Rick Maiden with the sneaky play and the big reacher for the lob.
Oh, nice catch.
And then Coach Brendan Kirch needed to be restrained. And you know, the hustle was evident all over the court. Sean Jackson kicks it out to Noah Ballou, who led the Mob with 23 points. And Rodney Bond had a very big game with 27 stops on the night. But you know, it just wasn't enough to stop Sean Jackson, who posted SlamBall's very first triple-double with 15 points, 10 loose balls retrieved, and 11 hits. Mob take it by 10, 62-52. This next X Division matchup pits the defending champion Rumble and the Bandits. Going undefeated takes teamwork, and if there's one thing that the Rumble do well, it's share the ball. Look at the ball movement. Coach Carter really preaches this, and then super sub Tommy Davis hits from the outside. Last year's MVP Dion Mays protecting the rim very well with help this year from David Redmond. These two guys are sharing the load, and it's igniting the Rumble offense. Take a look now at Jelani Janice with the massive boosties. Janice doing it on both ends of the floor. The team captain making a very big case this year as the Rumble's most dominating player. Look at Janice again with the game on the line.
That landing
Now he's about to toss it to himself with the soft finish. All right, big guy, I'm going to throw it up and you think I'm throwing a jump shot, but no, it's actually a pass to myself, which I'm going to come in and put it home.
Oh, the Rumble continued to roll.
Let me in that pile.
Oh, you'd be on the bottom.
Rumble roll with a blowout, 72-40. Checking in on the standings, the Rumble and Mob still lead their respective divisions with 2-0 records. The Slashers and the Diablos both at 500, trail mean green, with the 0-2 Bandits bringing up the rear. Behind the Mob, you'll see both the 1-1 Bouncers and Riders knotted at second, and the winless Steel in the cellar. For all the updated score, stats, and standings, check out www.slamball.net. We'll send you back to the second half in just a moment. The SlamBall Halftime Report was brought to you by Old Spice. Spice things up.
Well, as we get set for the start of the third quarter, quite a physical matchup. These two teams really know how to throw the hits around. 45 combined hits in the first half. The Rumble with a 27-17 lead. And Pat, we've talked about the physical play that the Rumble bring and the Mob. How about LaMonica Garrett and Dion Mays?
Well, I hate to say I told you so, but we kind of told you so. I mean, we expected a lot of physicality from this game. Dion Mays, affectionately known as the landlord, leading stopper from last year. There's Dion on the right of your screen. On the left, LaMonica Garrett, that football influence, and you put those two together, it's like TNT.
Here's the bounce off.
Garrett not even going for the ball, just coming in for Mays, the hit to the chest.
Garrett has to take his helmet off. I mean, he is a football player at heart.
Here's Garrett. He loves that plexiglass. Keeps it alive. Robbins, and does not get the shot off. Shot clock violation. Shot clock violation. They used up all 15 seconds. So possession go to the Rumble.
How there aren't more injuries when they come down in a heap like that, I have no idea. These players incredibly resilient.
And they're great athletes. You know, you may look at them. I think you lift a few of these shirts up. Definitely six-pack. These guys are in great shape.
Whitney White couldn't get it to fall, but the pass deflected by Mays. White and Janice can't get it, and the Mob have it back. Robbins on Redmond. Forget about it.
Oh, Redmond's head hit the bottom of the rim. Oh. Massive rebound. Robbins goes up, and the back of his neck into the rim.
Mays can't get it to fall.
And Cassidy goes up.
Sean Jackson for Robin. Oh, now we get a whistle behind the play.
You gotta love the faceoffs, but you cannot make contact once that offensive player is airborne, and it's like Magneto drawn in the fouls like metal. So a faceoff.
A little extra spring in the tramp.
Pushing in the back.
Two high second rebounds in a row. And I'm talking about rebound, I'm talking about players going up and hitting the backboard. Are you kidding me?
Oh my God, Vioxx is going all around.
So Redmond trying to stop. Robbins took it right at Redmond.
No chance there. Robbins came in with such a fast pace, and before it was even over, Redmond was up, but the basket was already scored.
Oh, I should jump.
Yeah.
A little too late.
Get a look from underneath. Robbins with it for the Mob. Trailing by 7. Jackson hit by Janice. LaMonica Garrett. Robbins uncontested.
And good hustle by Cassidy getting out of the trap, allowing Robbins to come through with the slam.
Now turnover. LaMonica Garrett's got it. Here's Sean Jackson for Garrett. Timing off, but Garrett trying to put it back, couldn't.
Surprised that I'm not seeing more points racking up for Jackson.
Whitney White dumps it out for Mays. Mays on Cassidy for White. Banks it up. Cassidy clears it. Garrett back the other way. Takes it in. Over Janice.
This will be fun.
Mays. White. Cassidy with the rejection.
Cassidy, so great, switching directions.
Oh, now batted away by Redmond on Garrett. Mays. This time to step. White finally finishes.
Mays with the bad bounce, but White coming in with the cleanup.
Well, White tries it from one side, gets denied, thinks, you know what? I'm gonna try the other side, and that time it works.
You're watching SlamBall on Spike TV. While we were away, Pat, some great action.
Cassidy with some big blocks. Lattimore able to get the scraps on that shot attempt. And then Lattimore on a face-off. He converts for 3. And then Redmond, watch the right arm. Big block against Ballou.
Well, the Rumble have done it with their defense through 3 quarters as we take a look at the Converse game summary. 34 hits to 23. And you take a look at the field goal percentage. The Mob have made only 8 of 20. And Pat, that has to do with the physical play in this game.
And LaMonica Garrett, we haven't seen the scoring that we expected from him or Sean Inches Jackson.
They definitely need Sean Inches Jackson. I mean, if they're going to have any run at this game in the last quarter, it's got to come from a superstar player like himself.
Well, Dion Mays there with a slam. That's good for 3 points. Remember, slams are worth 3. Lay-ins only 2, and the Rumble lead it here to start the 4th. Errant pass by Garrett. Janice outlet for White. White works in on Cassidy. Mays to the trampoline.
That's a D. He blocks with his body. He blocks with his chest more than most defenders, and I think why he has so much success.
Yeah, he's tough as nails. Ballou for 2. Noah Ballou. Well, he's taking so many hits, he figured I better take it outside.
Yeah, solid from the outside.
Whitney
Why not?
White, passing it to himself, resetting. Janice, Mays over his head. White, shot clock at 2. Can't get it to Janice. Here comes Jackson, who's been quiet. Jackson. Ballou with it for the Mob. And LaMonica Garrett gets fouled. And we'll have a face-off. It's a popcorn.
Yeah, Garrett went down immediately. Rumble affecting his bounce off the side, but on the other end, Mays. And you saw back Cassidy going up, able to shove it against the board. And that's impressive when you have Mays coming in with such force. He had no question that he was going to connect with the hoop, and Cassidy stopped him flat cold.
Expect a collision on this face-off. Garrett against White. Here's Garrett. You know, it's all power.
Gets the backboard slap.
You know, right before that face-off, I was going to say, do you expect any finesse here or just raw power?
I mean, he was salivating from the top of the key, and he just took off, and it was raw NFL power.
Watch the right hand after the slam. And that right there?
Yeah.
I'm going to claim it.
Jackson, Ballou, who's taken a pounding, just picked out of the air by David Redmond. He's been awesome as the stopper.
Yeah, I actually wouldn't be surprised if we don't see Mays play in the stopper position tonight. Redmond's just such a stellar job.
Janice lost the handle on the way up. Lattimore tried to save it. They had 2 guys in that tramp. You know, despite the fact that the Rumble have controlled this game, when you look at the scoreboard, guys, with 4 minutes to go, it's only an 8-point margin. I mean, so there's plenty of time for the Mob.
Especially when we enter the 2 minutes when the points change from the outside. Definitely get a chance to come back.
That's right, under the 2-minute mark, those outside perimeter shots were 3.
Robbins bumped by Davis. Cassidy whips it left. Jackson put it to the rim. He gets it off before the shot clock. Gets a 2, but count it. And the Mob are within 6.
But see, that's Redmond doing a great job keeping Inches away from the possibility of a slam.
Janice trying for 2. Tipped out by Cassidy. And that's goaltending as Cassidy stuck his hand inside.
You can see the shot going up and then Cassidy coming up from underneath. And we all know that's just not allowed.
Can't do that on jump shots, only on the dunks.
Come on.
38-30, here come the Mob. Anderson, wow, with a windmill.
Man,
Big Trev going high.
Look at the delay and then the delivery.
Anderson Slam has the Mob within 5 as we step aside. You're watching Slam Ball. Slam Ball is sponsored by Old Spice. Spice things up. By Tenactin. Tackle athlete's foot with Tough Actin Tenactin. And by Converse, the first school. Brendan Kirsch and his Mob hanging tough against Ken Carter and the Rumble. Somebody's O must go. Both teams at 2-0. The Rumble with it. Mays triggers it in. Tommy Davis with it. He'll hoist up a long jumper, and Cassidy picks it out of the air. Here comes Robbins. Couldn't get it to fall.
And interesting, no goaltending on that call. If you shoot from the outside, not allowed to goaltend.
Janice. White with the finish. And the Rumble lead it by 8 with 2:19 to go. Remember, once we get under 2 minutes, any outside shots in front of the baseline will count as 3. Robbins, Anderson.
Oh, and you see that, Mays. The landlord has checked in, controlling the property under the hoop.
Janice.
Rent
White.
is due.
Janice slipped, gets in, passes to himself. Cassidy again cleans things up on the inside. Anderson. Oh, again, Mays.
Taunting, this is what you gotta love. The taunting from Mays is just insane.
White tossed it away. Here's Robbins. And he right on Mays' head. He says, take that, landlord. Here's your rent check.
Turn my water back on. Wow. That was a big-time dunk.
41-36. Rumble in front. They have the ball. Shot clock down at 3.
Did you see what I just
Oh, my God. First, we have to wake him up. That is unbelievable.
First, it's Chris Robbins on the landlord, Dion Mays. But what about this hit, Marcelo?
Look at this hit. The key to a great hit is what lands first. If it's your butt or higher, it was a great hit.
That looked like when a wide receiver is cutting across the middle and the middle linebacker's just waiting, and it's within the 5 yards.
Yeah.
And you can have the contact.
Oh, yeah, you could tell this. I mean, taunt and the look. Oh, yeah,
Hey,
he knew you got him.
Robbins played a little football at Clemson.
All right, so listen, Tank, we're going to come over, set a screen for Jelani, pick and roll, okay?
Hey, Jay, you going to go with me? I'm going to come from the baseline.
Okay, all right, pick and roll.
Dion Mays is flapping his gums, but the reigning league MVP has the game to back it up. Coach Carter says, hey, that's part of the Rumble. It's their attitude.
Yes, we do have a swagger. Yes. And that, you know, when it gets down and you feel like you can't take another step, that's when that swagger comes in. When you get up and take that next step, that's where that championship comes in, and that's where that guy takes that next step. And that's why we're champions. These guys are willing to take the next step.
Let's go, let's go, let's go. 1, 3, come on, young man, run. Let's go.
Well, the Mob would need some magic at this point. 2 back-to-back threes, maybe an outside shot, but it's very possible.
Oh, my. Davis is setting a block on LaMonica Garrett, and then Garrett takes down Janice
from behind. Hence the foul call.
How about Davis throwing the blocks?
Well, they call him Tank. I mean, the guy's just built like a pit bull.
He's redirecting force out there. Oh, kind of tic-tac on the foul.
Again, slipping and sliding.
So obviously not
a factor.
Obviously not a position the Mob want to be in. Janice a chance to further their lead right now.
Garrett's got to get the stop here on Janice. And Janice can't get it to fall. So the Mob dodge a bullet. And they still need to get the ball back.
And Janice almost had just the feather touch off to the side with the roll, but unable to time it. Just gets the front of that rim.
problem for the Mob. The shot clock is now reset, so a fresh 15 for the Rumble. 5-point game. See the clock moving, 36 seconds to go. Shot clock down to 5. Janice takes a bump from Robbins. He'll put this up. It's worth 3. No good, but Lattimore with a huge offensive rebound. So they get a new clock. That was a huge play by Lattimore.
Great hustle going into the back. Davis.
Over the head of Lattimore. They'll take the shot clock violation. Here's Robbins back the other way. And Lattimore hustles back to knock it away to Mays. Lattimore making a couple of huge plays late. Now Mays just playing around, and the Rumble are going to dodge one here and get the victory. And the Rumble hold off the Mob. Whitney White outscored the Mob in the first half, 23-17. He finishes the game with 25 points. And Whitney White is the game's most valuable player. Take Flight White was dominant in the first half, outscoring the Mob 23-17, Pat.
Well, you know, you had the Mob. They were working on that very defense. They could not step it up, and White just converted time and time again.
Way to keep your composure. Way to play the game. Way to play the game. Our slam ball IQ tonight was off the chain. We kept our composure. They the one all upset. We're the one laying the lumber. All right, good job, Lob.
Hey, bring it in.
Hey, bring it in right here. On 3. 1, 2, 3. Good job.
Coach Carter and his team back up the swagger. They improve to 3-0 as we send it back to the SlamBall studio.
So the Rumble take a close one, but this contest was a real testament as to how much more physical this game is becoming. Want an example? Let's take a look at that big hit on Jelani Janice, courtesy of the former Clemson quarterback, Chris Robbins. Oh, man, that's gotta hurt.
He is one crazy white boy. That's the stuff I love about this game. Still, there's a reason why Ken Carter's Rumble came out on top tonight. This is a complete team with a lot of depth and a lot of muscle.
But Pat, they're going to need a lot more than just muscle because the balance of power in this league is shifting. The Mob is definitely a team to watch. They did a great job in the offseason strengthening their spots. They picked up an amazing stopper in Kevin Cassidy and some athletic players in Ballou and Anderson. This Mob team is a good team. You got to watch them.
That's right. Now, before we wrap up, let's take a look at tonight's flow motion moment, courtesy of Mob gunner Chris Robbins, taking it to the rim.
Now that's flow.
Up, up, and away.
Very, very nice. And now looking ahead to next week, we'll show you SlamBall's other expansion team, the Bandits, a team that got a huge pick in the draft, the #1 guy, Martise Moore. They'll go up against the Steel and Stand Shakes Fletcher, one of SlamBall's most exciting players. It'll be interesting to see how Moore matches up with Shakes, don't you think, Reggie?
Leila, Moore is one of the guys who got people excited. At 6'8", basketball player out of Georgia Tech, and was an ACC Freshman of the Year, and one of the most prolific shooters in preseason. Martise Moore is a special athlete.
He's just one of those special athletes on that court, though, Reg, because wherever I go, people ask me about slam ball and what it takes to be a great slam baller, and I tell them all the same thing. I'm going to tell you right now. Slam ball is the most punishing sport out there. These athletes play this game are as tough as nails. I'm telling you, they get off on contact. They're little nuts, and they push their bodies to the limit every time they step on the court.
And Pat, let's not forget the special skills these players have to have. They have to have strength, power, athleticism, and fearlessness.
And you know, fearlessness is something you definitely need to play in this league. Now join us again next week for more incredible slam ball action from Universal Studios City Walk in Los Angeles for our game coverage of Bandits and Steel. In the meantime, be sure to log on to www.slamball.net for all the latest standings, scores, and stats. For everyone here at SlamBall, I'm Leila Feinstein. Good night.